Hey, it's me again. Here with the new version of the Tune Monster software. I know some guys wanted to see what the software was all about, so I'm just gonna go through it. I'm not too familiar with it, but I can at least show you what's all about here. I'll go through everything with you guys. Here you can open your projects, where you open a tune, you save a tune to your ECM. Here's your data logging. Once you got your laptop hooked up, you can actually log everything's going on with your bike. Actually have the window open here. I'll show you what the Mega Logger looks like here. You see your RPM, throttle position, your fuel ratios, front and back cylinder, your intake temperature, your coolant temperature, map sensor. And it records while you drive. You can actually see all this stuff play. You play this back and you can actually see where your throttle was, your RPMs were. Yeah, it's actually pretty neat. So, they're all adjustable. Pretty neat, eh? Going back into fuel settings here. Then fuel corrections. In here it's your corrections for your air temperature. As you can see, there's a percentage for the temperature and also your altitude corrections. Get out of there. And here are your fuel tables. The fuel tables running my bike right now. So they're all adjustable, but I'm not gonna play with them. That's why I got the auto tune. And up in here in fuel tables, your fuel ratio tables for what cylinders. Shows you on your throttle percentage and RPM. Another thing too, if you don't like that type of graph, there's a 3D graph there for you NASA folks out there. Wicked. Next up here is ins and outs. Triggered input. Here at percentage of fuel, when you have a trigger, you trigger it off, it gives you more fuel and more spark. So this sounds like a nitro thing to me. So let's go back in here, ins and outs. And so you can control your cooling fan. So you set your temperature here. So my fan's gonna go off at 180 and it's gonna drop 10 degrees before it goes out. Again, here you got that auxiliary wire coming off the B harness. This for this here, I guess, for you guys with NOS. So at a certain RPM you can trigger something like a NOS, make your NOS go off. Okay. Your spark settings. That's where you can set your rev limiter. Not too clear on my phone right now, but it's at 9,000 RPM and sets your degrees for your air intake temperature, degrees of retardation, I guess. Your cold engine spark advance. So close that. Also there's your spark advanced table, your throttle position, your RPM, your set tables that I'm running right now on my bike. Communications, that's just for when I plug my bike in, the USB connection on my laptop, and the data rate for you guys using Bluetooth or anything. It just says it there. Calibrate your throttle position sensor and all sorts of stuff. Turbo. I'll never need to play with that right away. Let's go to the gauge cluster here. It shows your throttle position, your map sensor, and right here I'm not plugged in my bike, but under there it's my engine RPM. Air fuel ratios 1 and 2, front and back. Right there's our cold acceleration, spark advance, my air intake temperature, my air up there is the air intake correction percentage. It corrects the fuel for the temperature of the air. Here's my coolant temperature. Shows up there the percentage of how much it enriches it. You'll see a light come on too when the fan comes on and all that good stuff. Pulse width 1 and 2, your barometric pressures, your correction percentages for your barometric pressure, and your battery voltage. Second, this is the gauge cluster. I'm gonna go to the auto tune. This goes with those O2 sensors I installed on my bike. So I actually run with the bike, and it learns and reads what the oxygen content is in the exhaust, and corrects my fuel table for me. You can actually see the numbers change while you're driving around. The numbers will go red when it's too rich and blue when it's, or it goes red when it has to enrich it and blue when it has to lean it out. I'm not quite sure, don't quote me on that, but it will correct it. It does correct it, and it shows you where it corrected it and such. Just usually go up here and start recording when I'm offline right now. It's pretty neat. I'm still new to this program, like I said, so I'm not too familiar with everything yet. Both fuel tables right there for both cylinders, and I did notice that the numbers are different for both cylinders, so you're running separately. Lastly, I left a place for you to take some notes, so give me a couple months, I'll be pretty full. Again, I'm pretty new to this, so forgive me for not being the best at describing this program. I'm still learning it. Give me a couple months and I'll know the ins and outs of this. Thanks for watching.